Have you ever held a diploma in your hands and noticed that it feels completely different from ordinary paper? It is thicker, stiffer, often textured, and somehow feels more important than the pages inside a notebook or a printer. But why? Is it simply for decoration, or is there a deeper reason schools have chosen these elegant papers for centuries? And if a diploma is really just proof that you graduated, why not print it on regular office paper and call it a day? Today, we will uncover why diplomas are printed on such distinctive paper, and why that choice matters more than you might think, right here on History of Simple Things. For as long as people have awarded academic achievements, they have wanted the document itself to reflect the importance of the accomplishment. The earliest universities in medieval Europe, founded hundreds of years ago, issued certificates that were handwritten by skilled scribes rather than printed by machines. At the time, paper itself was valuable, and many important documents were even written on parchment made from specially prepared animal skin because it was durable enough to survive for generations. These certificates represented years of study, and universities wanted them to last a lifetime. Long before graduation ceremonies became grand public events, the diploma itself was already treated as something worthy of preservation. As paper making spread across Europe and later around the world, paper gradually replaced parchment because it was less expensive and easier to produce. But not all paper was created equally. Paper makers learned that by using better fibers and more careful manufacturing techniques, they could create sheets that were stronger, smoother, and more resistant to aging. Universities naturally preferred these higher quality papers because a diploma was never meant to be temporary. Unlike a newspaper that might be thrown away after a day, a diploma was expected to remain readable for decades, sometimes even centuries. One of the biggest reasons diploma paper feels different is the material it's made from. Ordinary office paper is usually made from wood pulp, which contains substances called lignin. Over time, lignin reacts with air and light, causing paper to yellow and become brittle. That's why old newspapers often turn brown after just a few years. Diploma paper, however, is usually made from cotton fibers or high-quality cotton blends. Cotton paper contains little or no lignin, making it much more resistant to discoloration and deterioration. In fact, many important government documents, legal certificates, and even currency use cotton-based paper for exactly the same reason. The goal is simple: make the document last as long as the achievement it represents. Then there's the texture. If you've ever run your fingers across a diploma, you may have noticed a subtle roughness or woven pattern. This isn't just for appearance. Textured paper helps distinguish an official document from an ordinary printout. It also adds a sense of craftsmanship that dates back to handmade paper, when every sheet carried slight variations created during the paper-making process. Even though modern diploma paper is produced with advanced machinery, manufacturers often preserve these traditional textures because they communicate quality and authenticity. The weight of the paper also plays an important role. Diploma paper is much thicker than the paper inside a typical printer. That extra thickness helps prevent creases, tears, and other damage during handling and storage. Think about how many times a diploma might be framed, moved between homes, or stored in a box for years before being displayed again. A heavier paper simply stands up better to the passage of time. Many diplomas also include security features that most people never notice. Some papers contain watermarks that can only be seen when held up to the light. Others use embedded fibers, embossed seals, raised printing, or special inks that are difficult to reproduce with standard printers. These features help protect against forgery. After all, a diploma isn't just a keepsake. It is an official record of education. Employers, licensing boards, and universities may rely on it as proof that someone completed a degree. Making it difficult to counterfeit helps preserve trust in the institution that issued it. Interestingly, the fancy appearance of diploma paper also has a psychological effect. Researchers have long known that people assign greater value to objects that feel heavier, more textured, or more carefully crafted. A beautifully printed diploma signals that the accomplishment is significant. Imagine spending 4 years earning a degree only to receive a thin sheet of copier paper. Even if the information were identical, it probably wouldn't feel nearly as meaningful. The quality of the paper helps reinforce the importance of the milestone it represents. Today, many graduates also receive digital diplomas that can be shared online or stored electronically. They're convenient, easy to verify, and impossible to wrinkle. Yet despite the rise of digital records, most schools still present a physical diploma during graduation. There's something deeply satisfying about holding a real document that marks years of hard work. The texture, the weight, the embossed seal, and the elegant paper all combine to create a sense that this is more than just a piece of paper. It is a symbol of perseverance, knowledge, and achievement. So the next time you see a diploma hanging on a wall or tucked safely inside a frame, take a closer look at the paper itself. Its unusual texture, sturdy feel, and elegant appearance aren't there by accident. They are the result of centuries of tradition, advances in paper making, and a simple desire to create a document worthy of one of life's biggest milestones. Sometimes the story isn't just written on the paper, it is hidden within the paper itself. And that's another simple thing with a surprisingly remarkable history. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.